Welcome to Dreamtale Sleep Stories. Tonight's reading is King of the Monkey House. Settle into your bed or sofa and let your shoulders, jaw, and eyelids grow heavy. Inhale slowly. 1, 2, 3, and sigh the air away, allowing the day to fade into quiet dark. With every soft inhale, you invite fresh English phrases. With every gentle exhale, stray thoughts drift farther off. Behind my voice flows a gentle melody, renowned for guiding the mind toward deep relaxation. Keep your eyes closed or follow the captions, whichever feels right. Simply receive the rhythm and resonance of the language. Deep in rest, tonight's phrases will take root like seeds, ready to bloom into stronger English skills with the morning light. When you feel settled, hold that unhurried breath and allow yourself to drift into the tale. King of the Monkey House begins now, and when the story's final line has faded, the music will linger a little longer, carrying you gently deeper into sleep. King of the Monkey House. Banana was the king of the monkey house at Sunshine Zoo. He was a large, brown monkey with intelligent eyes and a confident smile. Every morning, he woke up before the other monkeys and looked around his territory to make sure everything was peaceful. The monkey house was a large, comfortable space with tall trees, rope bridges, and plenty of places to climb and play. On this particular Tuesday morning, Banana stretched his arms and yawned loudly. The sun was just beginning to shine through the glass roof of the monkey house, creating beautiful patterns of light and shadow on the ground. But as Banana opened his eyes fully, he heard angry voices coming from the feeding area. "That's my banana!" shouted Chip, a young monkey with bright, mischievous eyes. He was pulling on one end of a large, yellow banana. "No, it's mine. I saw it first," replied Coco, Banana's best friend and the second in command of their group. Coco was pulling on the other end of the same banana. Banana sighed and scratched his head. As the leader of the monkey group, it was his responsibility to solve problems like this. He had learned over the years that fighting never solved anything, and it only made everyone unhappy. "Good morning, my friends," Banana said in a calm voice as he approached the two arguing monkeys. "What seems to be the problem here?" "Banana," Chip said excitedly, still holding on to his end of the fruit. "Coco is trying to steal my breakfast." "I am not stealing anything," Coco protested. "I found this banana first, and Chip is the one trying to take it from me." Banana looked at both of his friends and smiled. He had an idea that would solve this problem and make everyone happy. "I have a suggestion," he said. "Why don't we have a contest to decide who gets the banana?" Both Chip and Coco looked interested. "What kind of contest?" Coco asked. "A performance contest," Banana announced. "Each of you will show me your best trick, and the winner gets the banana. But," he added with a twinkle in his eye, "the loser gets to choose what we all do together after breakfast." This was a clever solution because both monkeys would get something they wanted. Chip loved to show off his acrobatic skills, and Coco enjoyed making decisions for the group. "I'll go first," Chip said eagerly. He let go of the banana and climbed quickly to the top of the highest tree in their enclosure. From there, he performed an amazing series of flips and jumps, swinging from branch to branch like a circus performer. The other monkeys who had gathered to watch clapped and cheered. When Chip finished his performance, Coco stepped forward. Instead of doing acrobatics, Coco sat down and began to make funny faces and sounds that made everyone laugh. He pretended to be different animals, first a lion, then an elephant, and finally a silly human visitor, pointing and making excited noises. Banana clapped loudly for both performances. "Excellent work, both of you. This is a very difficult decision." He pretended to think very seriously, putting his hand on his chin and nodding slowly. "I declare this contest a tie." "A tie?" both monkeys said at the same time. "Yes," Banana said, picking up the banana and carefully breaking it into 2 equal pieces. "You both performed wonderfully, so you both deserve to win. Chip, your acrobatics were amazing. Coco, your comedy was brilliant. Now you can both enjoy breakfast. And Coco, since you're also a winner, you still get to choose our group activity." The 2 monkeys looked at each other and then started laughing. They realized how silly their argument had been. "Thank you, Banana," Chip said. "You're a wise leader." "And a fair one," Coco added, taking his piece of the banana. "For our group activity, I choose that we all practice our tricks together. Maybe we can put on a show for the visitors later." As the monkeys enjoyed their breakfast, Banana felt proud of how he had handled the situation. He had learned that being a good leader meant helping others find solutions that made everyone happy, not just picking winners and losers. After breakfast, the group gathered around Lulu, the oldest and wisest monkey in their community. Lulu was a small gray monkey with kind eyes and a gentle voice. She had lived in the zoo longer than any of them and knew many stories about the old days. "Tell us a story, Lulu," requested Peanuts, a round, friendly monkey who loved food almost as much as he loved listening to tales. Lulu smiled and began to speak. "Today, I will tell you about the great adventure of 1995. When a young monkey named Mango tried to escape from the zoo. All the monkeys gathered closer, even Banana, who had heard this story many times but never got tired of it. Mango was about the same age as Chip," Lulu continued, looking at the young monkey who was listening with wide eyes. He believed that life outside the zoo would be much more exciting than life inside. So one day, he made a plan to climb over the wall and explore the big city. "Did he succeed?" Chip asked eagerly. "Oh yes, he did manage to get out," Lulu said. "He climbed the tallest tree, jumped to the wall, and found himself in the busy streets of the city. But you know what he discovered?" "What?" several monkeys asked together. "He discovered that the city was not a fun place for a monkey. There were no trees to climb, no friends to play with, and no one to bring him food. The cars were loud and scary, and the people were afraid of him. After just one day, Mango was hungry, lonely and frightened. He found his way back to the zoo wall and called for help. Chip looked thoughtful. What happened then? The zookeepers heard him and brought him back safely, Lulu said. And do you know what Mango said when he returned? What? He said, "I thought I wanted freedom, but what I really wanted was adventure. And I can have adventures right here with my friends." Banana nodded approvingly. This was exactly the lesson he hoped Chip would learn. He had noticed that the young monkey sometimes talked about escaping and exploring the world beyond the zoo. "That's a wonderful story, Lulu," Banana said. "It reminds us that home is not just a place, but the people we share it with." Just then, they heard excited voices approaching. A group of school children was coming for their morning visit to the monkey house. The monkeys could see them through the glass, pointing and chattering excitedly. "Oh, look," one child said. "There are so many monkeys." "Which one is the biggest?" asked another child. "I think that brown one is the leader," said a third child, pointing directly at Banana. Banana felt a warm feeling in his chest. He loved it when visitors came to see them, especially children. Their joy and wonder reminded him how special his life at the zoo really was. "Everyone," Banana announced to his group, "we have guests. Let's show them what talented monkeys we are." The monkeys immediately sprang into action. This was one of their favorite activities, performing for the visitors. Each monkey had developed their own special skills over the years. Chip, still energetic from his morning acrobatics, began swinging from rope to rope, performing flips and tricks that made the children gasp with amazement. "Wow!" they shouted. "He's like a flying monkey!" Coco started his comedy routine, making exaggerated expressions and funny gestures that had the children laughing loudly. He pretended to slip on an imaginary banana peel and fell dramatically, causing even the adult visitors to chuckle. Peanuts, who was naturally round and jolly, began a rolling and tumbling act, spinning across the ground in ways that seemed impossible for such a chubby monkey. The children clapped and cheered for his silly movements. Lulu, despite her age, showed off her wisdom by solving simple puzzles and demonstrating tool use with sticks and stones. The teachers in the group were impressed by her intelligence and pointed out to the students how smart monkeys could be. But it was Banana who stole the show. As the leader, he coordinated all the performances, directing his friends like a conductor leading an orchestra. He would point to Chip when it was time for acrobatics, signal to Coco for comedy, and encourage Peanuts and Lulu to show their skills. Then, for his grand finale, Banana performed a series of impressive jumps and swings that demonstrated both his physical strength and his natural leadership. The children were absolutely delighted. They pressed their faces against the glass and waved enthusiastically. "The big monkey is so smart," one child exclaimed. "He's like the king of all the monkeys." As the performance continued, Banana's sharp eyes noticed something that made him pause. Among all the excited jumping children, there was one little girl who sat quietly in a wheelchair at the back of the group. Her name tag read Emily. While the other children were laughing and pointing, Emily watched the monkeys with gentle, thoughtful eyes, but she seemed somehow separate from all the excitement. Banana's heart felt heavy as he realized that Emily might be feeling left out. The other children were so busy being loud and energetic that they hadn't noticed their quiet classmate. Emily had a soft smile on her face as she watched the show, but Banana could sense that she wished she could be part of the fun too. Being a wise leader, Banana knew exactly what to do. He quietly signaled to his friends to gather around him. "My friends," he whispered, "do you see that special little girl in the wheelchair? Her name is Emily, and I think she needs something different from our usual show." The other monkeys looked over at Emily and immediately understood what Banana meant. Coco nodded thoughtfully. "She looks like she has a gentle heart," he said softly. "What should we do?" asked Chip, who was always ready for action. "We're going to give Emily her own private show," Banana explained. "Something quiet and beautiful, just for her." Lulu's wise old eyes sparkled with understanding. "That's a wonderful idea, Banana. Sometimes the most special performances are the quietest ones." Banana approached the glass closest to where Emily sat. He made gentle eye contact with her and gave her a small, friendly wave. Emily's eyes widened with surprise and delight. For the first time that day, a real smile spread across her face. Then Banana began the most beautiful performance of his life. Instead of loud, energetic tricks, he moved slowly and gracefully, like a dancer. He picked up a small flower that had fallen from one of the trees and twirled it gently between his fingers, making it spin like a tiny ballerina. Coco joined in by sitting quietly and making soft, musical sounds. Not his usual comedy routine, but gentle humming that sounded almost like a lullaby. His expressions were still funny, but in a sweet, gentle way that made Emily giggle softly. Chip, who was usually all about wild acrobatics, performed slow, careful movements, like he was swimming through the air. His jumps were graceful and controlled, more like ballet than circus tricks. Peanuts rolled very slowly and smoothly across the ground, like a peaceful wave, and then sat up and gently clapped his hands in a rhythm that matched Coco's humming. Finally, Lulu approached with a small stick and began drawing shapes in the sand. A heart, a star, and then something that looked like a smiling face. She held up each drawing for Emily to see. Emily watched this special performance with wonder. Tears of joy began to fill her eyes, and her smile grew bigger and bigger. She pressed her hand against the glass, and Banana pressed his hand against the glass from the other side, so that it looked like they were touching. The other children, who had been busy chattering about other things, suddenly noticed what was happening. They turned to see Emily having her own special moment with the monkeys. And instead of being jealous, they felt happy for their classmate. "Look," one child whispered, "the monkeys are doing a special show just for Emily." "That's so beautiful," said another child. And soon all the children were watching quietly, understanding that they were witnessing something very special. Emily's teacher, Mrs. Johnson, had tears in her eyes as she watched the gentle interaction. She had been worried that Emily might feel left out during the zoo visit, but instead, Emily was having the most magical experience of all. When the private performance ended, all the monkeys sat in a line and bowed gently to Emily. She clapped her hands softly and mouthed the words "thank you" to her new friends. Though the monkeys couldn't understand human words, they could feel the love and gratitude in her heart. As the school group prepared to move on to see other animals, Emily waved goodbye to each monkey individually. Banana waved back and beat his chest gently, not in an aggressive way, but as a sign of respect and friendship. Emily giggled and tried to copy the gesture, which made all the monkeys very happy. After the visitors left, the monkeys sat together, feeling proud and moved by what had just happened. "That was the most beautiful show we've ever done," Chip said quietly. "I felt so happy seeing Emily smile," Coco added. "It was better than getting any laugh from my comedy routines." "Did you see how the other children learned to be quiet and respectful?" Peanuts observed. "Sometimes the best lessons happen without words." Lulu nodded wisely. "We taught those children something very important today, that everyone deserves kindness and inclusion, no matter how different they might seem." Banana felt incredibly proud of his friends. "You all showed me today what true leadership looks like," he said. "It's not about being the loudest or the strongest. It's about noticing who needs extra care and making sure everyone feels valued and loved." As the afternoon progressed, Banana noticed that Lulu looked a little tired. The old monkey was sitting quietly in the shade, and she seemed to be breathing more heavily than usual after their emotional performance. "Lulu, are you feeling all right?" Banana asked with concern. "Oh, I'm fine, dear," Lulu replied, but her voice sounded weaker than normal. "I think all that excitement with Emily touched my heart so deeply that I need to rest a little." Banana's leadership instincts immediately kicked in. He could tell that Lulu was not feeling as well as she claimed, and as the group's leader, it was his responsibility to take care of all the monkeys, especially the older ones. "Everyone," Banana announced, "I think we should all take a rest period. Lulu has shared her wisdom with us and helped us create something beautiful for Emily. Now it's our turn to take care of her." Without being asked, all the monkeys immediately understood what needed to be done. Chip used his climbing skills to gather the softest leaves and grass to make a comfortable bed for Lulu. Coco kept her entertained with gentle jokes and funny stories that made her smile without requiring her to laugh too hard. Peanuts shared his favorite nuts with her, knowing that good food would help her feel stronger. And Banana stayed close by, making sure she had everything she needed. "You don't need to fuss over me," Lulu protested gently. But Banana could see that she was touched by everyone's kindness. "We're not fussing," Banana said warmly. "We're showing love. You've taken care of all of us with your wisdom and stories for so many years. Now it's our turn to take care of you." As the afternoon passed, Lulu began to feel better. The combination of rest, good food, and the loving attention of her friends helped restore her energy. By evening, she was sitting up and chatting normally again. "Thank you all," she said to the group. "I was feeling a bit overwhelmed earlier by all the emotions from our beautiful moment with Emily. But your kindness has made me feel much better. This is what makes our home so special. Not the trees or the food, or even the entertainment we provide for visitors. It's the love and care we show each other." Banana nodded thoughtfully. "You're absolutely right, Lulu. Today has taught me so much about being a leader. It's not just about solving arguments or organizing performances. It's about noticing when someone needs extra care. Whether it's Emily needing a special kind of show, or you needing rest and comfort. True leadership means making sure everyone in our family feels loved and supported." As the sun began to set and the zoo prepared to close for the day, the monkeys gathered together for their evening meal. The zookeepers brought their dinner, a variety of fresh fruits, vegetables, and specially prepared monkey food that provided all the nutrition they needed. Unlike the morning's argument over the banana, dinner was a peaceful and happy time. The monkeys had learned so much about sharing, caring, and working together throughout the day. "My favorite part of today was seeing Emily's smile," Coco said while munching on a piece of apple. "Mine was learning that we can create different kinds of performances for different people," Chip added, swinging his legs from the branch where he was sitting. "I loved how we all took care of Lulu when she needed us," Peanuts said contentedly. "Taking care of our friends makes my heart feel as full as my belly after a good meal. And I loved seeing how you all have grown into such caring, thoughtful monkeys," Lulu said, with tears of happiness in her eyes. "When I told you the story of Mango this morning, I was trying to teach you about appreciating what you have. But you taught me something even more important, that what makes our home special is the love we share." Banana listened to all of them and felt a deep sense of satisfaction. "Today has been full of lessons," he said. "We learned that fighting solves nothing, but creativity and fairness can solve everything. We learned that true adventure isn't about escaping to somewhere else, but about finding wonder and meaning right where we are. Most importantly, we learned that everyone, whether it's Emily in her wheelchair, or Lulu when she's tired, or Chip when he's feeling restless, deserves to be seen, understood, and cared for." "What did you learn, Banana?" Chip asked curiously. Banana thought for a moment before answering. "I learned that being a king or a leader isn't about being the biggest or the strongest, or even the one who makes all the decisions. It's about paying attention to what each individual needs and helping everyone be their best selves. When I saw Emily sitting quietly while everyone else was being loud, I learned that sometimes the most important thing a leader can do is notice who's being overlooked and make sure they feel included." As the evening grew darker and the zoo became quiet, the monkeys prepared for sleep. They had developed a nighttime routine over the years that helped everyone feel secure and comfortable. First, they would all gather in their favorite sleeping tree, a large oak with strong, comfortable branches. Then they would arrange themselves in a pattern that provided warmth and protection. The larger monkeys on the outside, the smaller ones in the middle, with everyone close enough to feel safe, but far enough apart to sleep comfortably. Before they settled down for the night, Banana stood up to address his family one last time. "Thank you all for making today so special," he said. "We solved problems together, created something beautiful for a special visitor, took care of each other when someone needed help, and learned important lessons about leadership, friendship, and inclusion." Emily and her classmates went home today, having learned that kindness and understanding can cross all boundaries, even between humans and monkeys. "Do you think Emily will remember us?" Chip asked sleepily. "I think Emily will remember today for the rest of her life," Lulu said softly. "And more importantly, I think all those children learned something about seeing and caring for people who might be different from them." "Good night, Banana," all the monkeys said together. "Good night, my dear friends," Banana replied. "Sweet dreams." As Banana settled into his favorite spot on a strong branch, he looked up at the stars visible through the glass roof of the monkey house. He thought about Emily and hoped that their special performance had made her feel as happy as it had made him feel. He imagined her going home and telling her family about the monkeys who had noticed her and performed just for her. He thought about the other children too, and how they had learned to be quiet and respectful when they saw something beautiful happening. Maybe they would remember this lesson and apply it in their own lives when they met people who were different from them. As sleep began to overtake him, Banana felt grateful for his life and his role as a leader. He had a comfortable home, plenty of food, excellent care from the zookeepers, and most importantly, a family of friends who had shown today that they understood the most important values of all: kindness, inclusion, and love. The moon shone through the glass roof, casting a gentle silver light over the sleeping monkeys. In the distance, Banana could hear the soft sounds of other animals in the zoo, the gentle snoring of elephants, the occasional call of a nightbird, and the rustling of small creatures moving through their habitats. All was peaceful in the monkey house. Tomorrow would bring new adventures, new visitors to entertain, new problems to solve, and new opportunities to demonstrate the power of friendship, understanding, and compassion. But for now, the king of the monkey house rested peacefully, surrounded by his beloved family, knowing that he had spent the day learning what it truly meant to be a leader who serves others with love. And in his dreams, Banana saw Emily's smiling face, and he knew that sometimes the most important victories aren't about being the strongest or the fastest, but about making sure everyone feels valued, included, and loved.